Good morning, this is Michael Lodge. Glad you've joined me. I tell you, I'm kind of worn out. I got a headache. Stupid debate, I tell you. I've never seen such a mixed up mess in my life. And by the way, I'm also pissed off because I didn't realize that yesterday was National Coffee Day. I didn't see it until this morning, which was too late, that yesterday was National Coffee Day. I could have been celebrating because I love coffee. In fact, I have a cup of coffee right now in my hand. But listen, last night's debate, what can you say about it? Well, what did we learn? I think what we really need to be asking ourselves, what did we learn from it? Not a damn thing, right? Honestly, what the whole debate was is that you had Trump versus Wallace versus Biden. And I'm even going to tack on Fox News because I don't know what you were thinking of putting Chris Wallace in that position because he failed in 2016 when he was moderating that debate. Why would you do it a second time to the American people? We got absolutely nothing out of Chris Wallace except bias, except interruption, except to debate President Trump. That's what we got. What did we learn from Joe Biden? He's not for the Green New Deal. He thinks that Antifa is just a theory. Even though he sees everything being burned down by Antifa, he still thinks it's just a belief. And he quoted the current FBI director. And I don't know what the FBI director was thinking when he said that because he's an absolute idiot. And then what else did we find out? Over and over and over again from Joe Biden is that he hates President Trump. The majority of his message last night was that he hates President Trump. He thinks he's a clown. He thinks he's the worst president ever in history. Told the president to shut up. We did not see a candidate up there last night. What we saw President Trump just really being a bulldog and being as tough that he could possibly be because he knew he was up against Wallace and he knew he was up against Biden. There was no friendly fire for Trump last night. Then you had Wallace covering up for Biden and bringing in all these thoughts. Ugh. Honestly, I wanted to jump into my TV and slap Chris Wallace because I tell you, he really failed the American people last night. And so did Fox News. This happened in 2016. Now it's happening in 2020, where Chris Wallace thinks that he is better than the candidates. He's not all that smart, let me tell you. He's used my questions on his TV show on Sunday morning twice. That's how dumb he is. If he took my questions and put it on his show, he's stupid. But I'm kind of disappointed in the whole thing because we had no decorum on both sides last night. We had the president trying to fight two people at one time. We had a very confused Biden. And we had a very disgusting moderator who became one of the debaters. So the American people didn't really walk away with changed minds last night. In fact, I'll tell you right now, I've already made up my mind. I'm not going to watch any more of the debates because it's worthless. If you're going to stand up there and talk over each other and pound each other and call people names, you don't call a president a clown. You don't tell him to shut up. You don't tell him, you just don't do that. Biden showed nothing to the American people that would change anybody's mind. Trump has his base, will always have his base. The problem with Biden is that he said that he wasn't for the Green New Deal and that he is the Democratic Party. So AOC and all of these other left-wing individuals are out in the cold because they no longer have a presidential candidate. The Bernie Sanders people, they're gone. They have no more candidate. The Green New Deal and socialism was all about Bernie Sanders and AOC. But last night, Bernie Sanders made it, not Bernie Sanders, but Joe Biden made it very clear that he's not for that Green New Deal. That's not his policy. And that he's not for socialism. But in actuality, he is. Today, he's going to be out there pandering to all those people. I bet you the first thing he did was get into his limo last night and call Bernie Sanders. I didn't mean it, Bernie. I didn't mean it. Called AOC. AOC, how's everything going? Listen, I got overheated last night. I didn't know what I was saying. He's got to do some backpedaling today. But the only message that was out there, prominent, was that he hates the president. He could probably say, he hates the president with all of his heart and soul. I'm sorry, but if your only message is hate, then we still don't know what your plan for America is. We have no idea. All we hear are these words, but the nitty-gritty plan for America on how to deal with unemployment and how to deal with taxation and everything else, it's gone. It's gone because Trump had to debate Wallace and he had to debate Biden. So we are in the same boat that we were in the same time yesterday, Tuesday. We still don't know anything about Biden. Because he has really no plan for America. He has no future except his whole message from day one when he started to run for president was that he hated the American president. He hated the president. So I'm telling you right now, I'm already locked and loaded, and I've already made up my mind who I'm voting for. All of these debates are worthless unless you might as well do it for pay-per-view. If you're going to have this kind of fighting, put it on pay-per-view. I might even pay for it. But I'm not going to watch it for free. I mean, this is absolutely nutso. That we American people are having to make a decision based on the debate. Forget it, because we got nonsense last night from both sides. Now I can understand why Trump had to come out like a bully, and people are calling him a bully. But we also had another candidate come out who said absolutely nothing except hate. Now, he said something to his people. I don't support socialism and I don't support the Green New Deal. Those were his messages to the Bernie Sanders support people. So he's lost them. They're gone. I wish I could literally sit here and talk about substance, but we had no substance last night. We had absolutely nothing at all. We had nothing. All that we had was bickering and fighting and moaning and groaning and hate and calling people names. And we're still in the same spot. So I think that a lot of Americans have already said, okay, I'm just going to vote for the person that I want. I'm not going to listen to any more of these nonsense debates. I've already made up my mind. I'm going to go into the polling place and I'm going to cast my vote. And that's me. That's me. That describes me to the T. I'm not going to sit around and waste my time listening to nonsense from a debate. Now, in the past, it's always been tradition to do this, right? But they had decorum. They had respect. Even though they didn't like each other and didn't like each other's policy, there has always been this respect. Joe Biden showed no respect last night. He showed I tell you, I'm going to just sit here and drink my coffee all day and move on to other things in life, because last night was a disaster. So basically what you had Trump versus Wallace versus Biden versus Fox News. Because Fox News is the one that decided to put Wallace in that position. If you read all of the Twitter accounts of all of these, on both CNN, MSNBC, newspaper columnists, they are saying Wallace did such a piss poor job that he should never be invited back as a commentator again. He did so bad. Go on to Twitter. Listen, I follow everybody on Twitter because I have to do a podcast and I want to hear everybody's opinions. Even before the debate last night, I was having a discussion with individuals out of California, and it was about the gay community. And I guess that Eric Trump had said that he was in support of the LGBT community. So the LGBT community on Facebook came out against Eric Trump last night, and they were saying he hated them. He didn't want marriage. They listed this whole line of nonsense. And I came back to them. I said, "Okay, you show me where he has said that." No one could come up with any kind of backup or data to support their argument against Eric Trump. My comment to the gay community on the Facebook was, straight people have a right to support the gay community also. It isn't just gays for gays. It's everybody in America can support the gay community if they want to. So you should be thankful that there's a straight community out there that's supporting your gay community. But they kept wanting to argue. They wanted to argue. They wanted to say all of these negative things about Eric Trump, but they could not prove it. So the guy came back to me and said, "Google it. You can Google it." I said, "No, you made that statement. Now you show me the proof." Never came back to me. Never could show the proof. So this is what we are dealing with, is individuals who are willing to state anything but not show their backup for it. The same thing with Biden. He will make these statements, but he has no backup for his statements. You saw it really heavy last night in Biden's responses to President Trump. And I hate to tell you this, but Mr. Biden, there was a whole Senate report that came out that investigated your son and found that he was taking money while you were vice president. So if you want to call a whole Senate investigative committee that looked at your son and looked at the bribes that he took, then call the Senate liars. But the problem is there's too much evidence. So we have a problem. Gosh, we have a big problem. where the presidential debates are no longer a debate. They're no longer a debate. They're no longer a mechanism for us Americans to sit there and try to figure out what these candidates are all about, what they're lying about, what they're telling the truth about. We have moderators who are now becoming debaters with the debaters. We saw the same thing in 2016. And the problem with this is that the media, and especially the news, what they call news media, has changed completely. We are no longer reporting the news. Instead, what they're doing, they're stating what they think the news is, and then giving commentary about what they just thought they were reporting about. And so instead of being a news person and asking the questions, they've now become the debater. They've now become the supporter. And so we have no clean debate style anymore. Especially when it comes from Chris Wallace. I tell you, I think after last night, the American people are sitting back saying, okay, enough of this crap. We're going to continue to vote what we feel that we need to vote for, and they're not going to listen to it any longer. Last night was a debacle, and that's not how Americans learn through nonsense. We just don't want that any longer. I think that what we want really is true news, true questions, and no commentary, no interruptions from a moderator. Chris Wallace failed tremendously last night. He should not even be led even close to a debate stage, because he'll foul it up again. 2 elections, he's done that now. 2 elections, he has run interference with a debate. And so you understand why Americans get more and more angry at the media sources that are throwing crap at us every single day. You understand why Americans are fed up with politicians, because today they're going to go out there and they're going to spin lies. I've said this so many times. The only way that you can know your candidate is to study that candidate. Study the words that he has used. Look at the statements he has put out there. Look at his website and show what he stands for, and then what he contradicts himself on. Listen to the words of what he calls people, what he calls the American people. Listen to words. Read the words. If you go to a news source, they are going to take those words and they're going to mangle them. They're going to bend them into pieces. They're going to do their little magic on them. And pretty soon, you don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing, because the media only takes certain sections of a statement and use it to their advantage. But you don't know what was said before, and you don't know what was said after. It was only that just one section that works for them on their show. So we don't get pure news any longer. We don't get truthful news. I'm not going to call it fake news, but I am going to call it, it's not truthful news. Because we're not getting the full story. We're not getting the full statements. We are only getting bits and pieces of statements and information based upon the agenda of that news organization that you're listening to. And that's where we've been harmed. It's done on Fox News, it's done on CNN, it's done on MSNBC, it's done all over the place because no one is reporting the news any longer. So when we come to these debates, we get the same crap. We get a moderator who feels like he should be the debater of the president. He certainly didn't debate Biden last night. He debated Trump. He did not fulfill his responsibility as a news guy and ask the questions and let the answers come from the candidates. Instead, he debated them. Worthless. So today I can't really talk to you about substance or content or anything else because it was just nonsense of what we saw and what we were allowed to see last night and hear. So I'm going to suggest this. I'm not going to tell you because that's not my job to tell you, but I'm going to suggest in order to make a good decision on the candidate that you want, that you feel comfortable with, listen to their words, read their words, understand what their plan for America is. If you find out that they have nothing, then that's probably not the right candidate for you. But you have to become the journalist now. And you have to look at the content that these candidates are providing you on their websites, in their press releases, and everything else. Turn off the news. Turn them off. Turn off Fox. Turn off CNN. Turn off NBC and CNBC and whatever else is out there. XYZ, Baby Dude. I don't know what it is. Turn them all off. And what you really should be doing is really focusing on the candidate and what he is saying. That's it. You make the decision. You're the voter. I've already made up my mind. I know who I'm going to vote for. But a lot of you haven't done that yet. A lot of you still need to do your own due diligence on these candidates. And that's what I suggest you do. Do your due diligence. Don't take it in from the mainstream media. Don't take it in from cable TV. Don't take it in from bloggers, because there's a lot of bloggers out there who are saying nothing but nonsense. Do your own due diligence. That's what this campaign has to be about, is you making that final decision based upon your due diligence of that candidate. That's all that you can do. Listen, if you have any comments, send me a text, 818-252-5682. Again, that's 818-252-5682. And I'll try and answer your questions. If you have a question about business, send it to me. I'm here. That is what my podcast is supposed to be about, business. But because of the elections, I have to get involved in this nonsense. Listen, everybody go out and have a great day. This is Mike Lodge. Remember, do your due diligence. It's up to you. It's not up to mainstream media. It's up to you to do your due diligence. So this is Mike Lodge. Talk with you soon. Bye-bye. This podcast has been produced by Michael Lodge, fully focused on content. Join me on my website at www.lodge.co.com. God bless everybody.